Hey, Undisputed listeners. Before we start the show, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app right now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. Download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com now. Let's start the show. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, how we doing?
Good morning. Doing good.
You know, the NBA starts tonight. We got Lakers versus Clippers, so I decided it was time to break these out.
I was wondering about those.
Kaboom! How about that? These are the new Kawhis. These are the Jolly Ranchers. You like them, Shannon? Yeah.
You got a good game yourself.
Jolly Ranchers. Look at this. I got Jolly Ranchers.
So let me get this straight. You go from Michael Jordan to Jolly Rancher.
I got Jordan socks on. You got to get a shot of these. I got the Jordan logo right here. So just in case, I covered the Jolly Ranchers with Jordan socks.
You ought to be embarrassed.
The Jolly Ranchers.
I think deep down inside you are.
I saw you walk in today, Skip, and I thought, I wonder about those. I am actually wearing my Jordan stay, so I've got you covered. Christmas is coming a few days early tonight with the return of the NBA, including the big Clippers-Lakers matchup, which we thought we were going to see in the Western Conference Finals just a few months back. And as always, we've got a ton of storylines to keep an eye on. LeBron's quest for back-to-back rings, the Clippers trying to right the ship under a new coach, KD's first year in Brooklyn, the ever-growing drama of where James Harden will end up playing, and guys, so much more. I'm going to jump right to it. Shannon, what is your finals matchup and who wins it all?
Well, I've kind of been going back and forth in the East.
Lakers, Clippers? Oh, in the East.
In the East. I'm going to start with the East first, since the sun rises in the East. It says in the West. I'm going to start with the East, Skip. I mean, watching KD, and I understand that the concerns that people have, Skip, because the Achilles injury is a very serious injury. Is it the more serious of the injuries of any professional athlete? But Kevin Durant is not a 250 pounds, 270 pound center. He's not a guy that relies on jumping ability. He's not a guy that relies on his quickness in order to get to where he needs to get to. So I think of all the people that's probably suffered this injury, the basketball players, the historically great players, I think he's probably the guy that's best equipped to deal with it because, as I said, Skip, he's not 250. He's not quick. He's quick, but he's not reliant on that aspect. He's not, Dominique Wilkins that relied on his jumping ability. So with that being said, I believe he'll pick right up where he left off. He will be the Kevin Durant that we've seen over the last 10, 12 years, and I don't think he'll miss a beat. When you look at this team, Skip, their second unit could really be a starting unit in the NBA. They come off the bench with LeVert, Jared Allen, and Taurean Prince. That's their second unit. So with that being said, I'm going to say I like the Eastern Conference Finals to be the Bucks and the Nets. And I'm going to say Brooklyn in 6. I'm going to give you, I think Giannis will get a couple more games than what he normally does. In the West, Skip, really?
Well, the sun sets on the Lakers, right?
No, don't do that, Skip. Suns have gotten better, but I still think they're a piece away and maybe a year away. The Nuggets, the big question I have for the Nuggets is Michael Porter Jr. Did he have enough time to get into the weight room, and is he going to take it serious? And you got to understand, bro, every time something goes wrong, it's not your opportunity to go to Zoom and says, I need more opportunities. Golden State, Skip, I thought Golden State with Clay, but I never really saw them as a viable option to the top 1 or 2 seeds. And so now that brings me down to Portland. I think Portland's going to be okay. But do I think Portland's ready to take that next step and get to the Western Conference Finals? I don't believe they are. So I'm going to go back to the two that we thought would be there last year. I'm going to say the Lakers and the Clippers battle it out. And I'm going to say the Lakers win in 6 to meet the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals because we want our get back. KD got 2 of them things from us.
Okay.
So we need our get back. So I got the Lakers.
Got the Lakers again.
Yep.
Okay. I'm shocked by your prediction. I'm actually, truly, honestly, authentically shocked that you did pick the Nets on the other side.
Yeah.
That means that you are actually displaying your hidden respect for one Kevin Durant, who is the best player on the planet.
No, Skip, I've always had respect for Kevin Durant. I mean, just because I picked him, that doesn't mean I believe he's the best player on the planet. When you look at what they have, I don't know if anybody else have that kind of depth that can match him. Philly has, we're going to see what Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid's going to be with Tobias Harris. But do they have the depth? And that's what Golden State, Skip, that's how Golden State beat people so many years. Their second unit, if they had a lead, the second unit expanded the lead. If they were behind, the second unit cut into the lead, and when the starters got back, they were either tied or in front. The Nets have that same type of firepower.
Okay. I buy into your Nets pick, even though I have some reservation about a new coach who's never coached one dribble in the NBA named Steve Nash trying to deal with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and a bunch of players who were there last year say, what about us? Are we chopped liver?
Well, the second guy you mentioned, I think he'll be just fine. It's the first guy that you mentioned.
Well, obviously, and yet I believe they will figure it out because I watched Kevin Durant last Friday night, and I was in awe of what I saw. I get that it was just the final preseason game. He was dominant. He was omnipotent. He just took the whole game over, played 27 minutes, scored 25 points on 9 of 16 shots, made a couple of threes, blocked 3 shots. I think you're going to see him on the defensive end rise and shine. And that team is loaded top to bottom. They're trying to turn Karis LeVert into their Manu Ginobili coming in with the second unit, or if we can go more current, make him their Lou Williams coming in and just lighting people up.
Yeah,
and it's got potential.
Yes, because he's got a 50-point game, and we saw what he did in the bubble.
Okay, so I'm on record. Nets will win the East, and Kevin Durant will win the MVP.
Easily? You win the East easily?
Well, not easily, because there are a lot of good teams. The Sixers are going to be fascinating. I just don't think they're quite there yet with their first-year coach and Doc.
You have little to no respect for Giannis and
I have little to none, and I'm not factoring them into this. And I think it's going to come down to Nets versus Philly.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, okay.
Now, the sun sets in the West on the Lakers. And now for my Western Conference prediction, I have a huge question just to ask the walls here because I know I won't get an answer from you. This is rhetorical because this is blowing my mind. It is confounding me. It is perplexing me. It is frustrating me to try to figure out what happened to my Clippers because just a few months back, they went into the bubble playoffs favored to win it all.
Right.
And they got up to the Denver series, and they flexed their dominance against Denver because they went up 3-1.
They did.
And then, obviously, they had 3 straight closeout games, and they're up 15, flexing their dominance. They're up 19 in the second closeout, flex, and 12 in the third one. Kind of a little flex.
Yes.
Didn't close one of the deals.
No.
And all of a sudden, they are chopped liver. They are garbage. They are trash. They are old news. They are last year's story. And somehow, they're in the dumpster. And I don't get it because...
No, nobody said in the dumpster, but, I mean, a lot of people got them picked the second or third. I mean, it's not like they got them like the 6th or the 7th season.
Okay, but where did they go wrong? Where did they fall? Is everybody just being prisoner of that moment? They collapsed. I give you that. They could not close. They did not have that point guard who could settle them, order them, figure it out for them to put them in position. You don't need no point guard. You got Kawhi. That's true.
You told me last year going into the season, Kawhi was the best player in the NBA.
Yep.
So you don't need a point guard. Michael Jordan didn't have a point guard. Kobe Bryant didn't have they just get a ball to those great guys and let them go work.
Well, maybe they needed to switch to the triangle, which was Michael Jordan's offense, and the new coach, Ty Lue, says, guess what? I have instituted and installed the triangle just for Kawhi Leonard's sake, so he can get those mid-range jump shots on which he made 48% last year. I'm talking about jumpers from outside the lane and inside the three-point line, right?
Yeah.
Those mid-range jump shots. Nobody shoots them better except Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant, my guy, Kawhi, and this side of Michael Jordan, nobody has shot them better than those two.
Well, first of all, Skip, this notion that it was the offense, the triangle, that made Kobe and Michael who they were. It could have been the triangle, the rectangle, the hexagon, or the circle. When you have a historically great generational talent, transcendent talent, they supersede whatever offense or defense you may put them in.
They both swore by the triangle, not at it, by it. And they said it put them in more positions to have quality shots than any other offense they were ever in.
Do you know the number? Did you remember the numbers that Michael averaged before he got into the triangle?
Sure. Do you know how many championships he won in the triangle?
That's what I'm saying, though, Skip. Okay, you can say that it helped him win championships, but to say it made him a great player is not true.
Okay, so I'm asking, how did we flip-flop somehow from Clippers-Lakers to Lakers-Clippers? The Clippers are tied for second in the Fox bet odds with Milwaukee. But what changed?
We won the championship, but y'all didn't.
How did you win the championship? What exactly did you prove? I asked the walls. What did you prove?
We proved that we were better than the Clippers. That's what we proved. We were the best team in the NBA. That's what we proved.
Think of the huge breaks LeBron got last year. It was so meant to be. The injury gods, the basketball gods said, let there be LeBron in the bubble. And what happened? He got an almost 5-month pandemic break to rest up, heal up, and get ready for a bubble run through the playoffs. And in the bubble, he got a huge break in year 17. You didn't have to fly. You barely had to drive. You could walk to the arena.
But listen to the Dame talk. Dame says he believes that's why they also got some of those historic performances, is that guy, it was so easy. Basically, everything was right there. The spread was right there. You ice and you go straight back to the hotel. There was no travel. And so it maybe have benefited some other people also.
Well,
you make it seem like the Lakers were the only one that were in the bubble.
I just know it didn't benefit the Clippers because of as my friend Jared Dudley said a couple of weeks back, those boys did not want to be in that bubble.
Skip, that has nothing to do with us because you chose. Skip, you could have opted out. Kawhi and Paul George and all those guys didn't have to opt in. Other players opted out.
So you dodged the ultimate bullet that was headed for you last year. You did not have to play the Clippers. You got to play Denver. And then guess who you got to play? You got to play the 5th seed in the East, the upstart, underdog, Miami Heat, made it all the way to the finals to play you. And what happened in game 1? The injury god said, Goran Dragic, come on over here.
But when
he gets hurt. He's their leading playoff scorer. Bam, come on over here with us, said the injury gods. He goes down and out in game number 1 and is not the same the rest of the games. They end up having to play 2 rookies high minutes, obviously, and one, Duncan Robinson, who's a second-year player, undrafted. They had to play him high minutes. So wait a second. You're playing Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn, both rookies, one of them undrafted. They played like 20 to 30 minutes a game from there on. And what did that prove? That you beat them, and it took 6 games to beat them.
But we've never done this before. We didn't say when the Rockets upset the Lakers in 81 and 86 that Bird dodged a bullet by not having to face the Lakers. We've never done this with any other player other than LeBron to try to diminish what the man has accomplished. The Clippers had every opportunity. They were in the bubble. They didn't have to travel. They didn't have the inconvenience that go along with a normal day-to-day schedule. So why do you have to punish the Lakers for what the Clippers couldn't do?
I just don't understand how suddenly it flip-flopped and the Lakers are prohibitive favorites in Fox Bet. Really? Did they get better this through the free agent
clearly
period?
the gambling sites believe they did. Fox Bets, William Hall, and whomever else believe they did.
I think they're just prisoners of the moment of what they just saw. They saw the Clippers collapse and the Lakers win it, and they take it on face value. Oh, let's flip-flop the odds.
But hold on, Skip. They believe that the Lakers also got better in some acquisitions.
Okay, look who they lost. They lost their 3rd best player, playoff Rondo, who was invaluable in the bubble to them.
Okay.
They lost Dwight Howard, who gave them a physicality and edge they don't have anymore.
Skip,
they lost JaVale, who gave them length that they don't have anymore. They don't have big, long post players.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how much did JaVale play in the finals? How much did he play against Houston?
Okay.
How much did Dwight play against Houston? How much
not
did he
against
play
Houston because they went small, but after that, Dwight was crucial.
Yes, but that's what we're talking about.
Then Danny Green has been there and done all that. He's a wily veteran, 3-and-D, and Avery Bradley is gone also. And he's 3-and-D. He was the hero of your first big win over the Clippers in the regular season.
But remember, Skip, you talked about that. You said that. Because when he opted out, you said, oh, you're in trouble. Okay, he didn't even show up to the bubble.
He did not.
And we still won.
Well, he's not going to show up anymore.
We're good, Skip.
Okay? So you add a Schroeder who's on record as saying, hey, I'm a starter. I don't come off the bench. That's going to cause problems for you because I'm not sure he does start for this team.
At some point in time, Skip, most of the guys in the NBA were starters at some point in time, but his role is probably going to be to lead that second unit when LeBron goes to the bench, so there's not significant drop-off at the point guard position.
Okay.
Now, we already know it's going to be some drop, but not where we're -10, -11.
Okay, then the Clippers had addition by subtraction. We did not renew Montrez. We didn't want him back. We just said, no, we're out. And he's like, seriously, me? I'm sixth man of the year. Lakers said, aha, we got the sixth man of the year.
Yeah.
Well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? He was a malcontent. He caused nothing but problems.
But the problem that he had is that he saw two guys come in there that had done nothing for the Clippers. What you did at Toronto, what you did at San Antonio, how does that help us win a championship? We need you to do that here. Doc, you keep talking about we need reps. We need continuity. But you allow these guys to miss practice. You allow these guys to miss game. You keep telling us we need to come together. How in the hell can we come together when they're separate?
Guess who's not there also? Doc Rivers is now in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's Ty Lue, who you love, right? He got elevated to become the new head coach.
Will do a great job.
New strong voice in the locker room. He will say no. Maybe it's going to be a little different this year.
He will. He will run the show. He don't take the bull job from nobody.
Nope.
But Paul George, the thing that you didn't do is you didn't get rid of that finger pointing Paul George. It was everybody else's fault. It was Doc was using me like Ray Allen. When Ray Allen's going to the Hall of Fame, you better hope you get used like Ray Allen. And you better hope that you come up clutch in the playoffs like Ray Allen, because we have yet to see that. If you give yourself a name, you damn sure better live up to it. You dub yourself. Nobody gave you playoff Pete. Paul Pierce, Shaq gave him the name The Truth. You can get a nickname. Guys give you a nickname, Vince Sanity, whatever the choice may be. But you better live up to it. Now, you call yourself playoff P, and I ain't seen it.
Okay. All I know is he's still an all-star, and he's still a potential first team all-defense. Not everybody's an all-star. And I'll take him as my complimentary star.
Oh, really?
And I will take Serge Ibaka over Montrezl Harrell for this team any day or any night because he's close with the Kawhi. He'll be a much better fit. And I just think he's a better all-around player than Montrez, who became a defensive liability against Denver. Can't guard anybody. He can beast in the lane, and he can score it, but can he play defense? You're about to find out.
We're going to find out.
And you added...
You told me, guess what? We signed up. Everybody told me Dwight Howard was a malcontent. How did he do? Everybody talked about JaVale.
Yeah, he wasn't a team wrecker. He's just Dwight. He's unto himself. And he was on his best behavior last year.
Memphis say don't even touch down. Well, we're going to try to move you. Before they traded to Memphis, they said, before you, don't even worry about coming. Think about it. He had gone to Charlotte. He had been in Atlanta. He had been to Houston. Houston, Atlanta, Charlotte. Charlotte traded to Memphis. Memphis say, bruh, don't even worry about getting your bags in your hat.
No, maybe.
We good. Stay where you are and try to work out something somewhere else.
Maybe the joke's on Memphis.
Hold on. As a matter of fact, he was in Washington also.
He was. I would agree. But Serge Ibaka is now in Los Angeles as a Clipper, and it's an upgrade.
All he want to do is open up a restaurant
and defense. He
all
had
he
a career year.
Have a cookie show going.
And all of a sudden, they went and got Luke Kennard coming off a career year in Detroit, averaging 16 and shooting 40% from three. He is a professional shooter.
Luke Kennard, Luke Campbell, Luke Skywalker, it doesn't matter. The Lakers in 6 in the Western Conference Finals, if you're lucky to get there.
And Montrez took was it a Twitter shot? I think it was a Twitter shot at Luke Kennard getting his money yesterday. He got 4 more years at $64 million.
I mean, think about it. Y'all get Skip. Think about what y'all did. Y'all gave I don't have no problem with people, good guys getting their money. Get your money. I saw a lot of guys get some money at the tail end yesterday. But you gave Luke Kennard 4 years, 64. You gave the Mars twin, 4 years, 64 million.
Worth it.
What we do is we get bargains.
Yeah.
We get bargains.
Okay. Luke Kennard is better than Landry Shamet. So they upgraded there. I will give you this. They did not get the point guard they needed, and that was playoff Rondo. I don't know why, but he chose.
Because he didn't want to go there.
He said, no Lakers, no Clippers. I'm going to Atlanta.
And which I told you. I
took the money and ran all the way to Atlanta. Okay, I got it. So at least he's not a Laker anymore, but he's not a Clipper. That brings me to Lou Williams. I watch all these preseason games. Lou just lit it up in the preseason.
Oh, now you back on Lou. The man that you every time you refer to him in the bubble, you call the man lemon pepper.
Because you called him that. You started it, I finished it.
You called the man lemon pepper.
And he played like he was on fire with lemon pepper as opposed to making baskets.
Now, all of a sudden, you talk about, hold on, it's the preseason. Now, when I told you that LeBron was never looking good, this is what I noticed. And everybody does this to me. When LeBron looks good in a preseason, it's just a preseason. LeBron and AD look good in the regular season. Nobody cares about it. The season don't start till after All-Star game. The moment somebody they like, did you see Kawhi hit all those shots? Did you see KD? KD back. Did you see Lemon Pepper Lou?
Did you see Lou Williams? He scored 31 points in 25 preseason minutes. He made 12 of 15 shots, and they were all from distance. I'm saying, that's my guy. He is back under Ty Lue. I will say he will be my sixth man of the year. He will win back sixth man of the year.
Oh, so y'all want him back?
He never left.
After he went and got some wings on you guys, and so y'all want him back, huh?
The bubble is over. Unless they go back to the bubble, and maybe they will.
There might be a possibility they go back to the bubble.
That's your only hope, is to go back to the bubble.
What I'm hoping that for? Hell, I'm trying to get out. I want to get out of the pandemic like everybody else. I don't want to go back. I don't want them to go back to the bubble. I want things to go back to have some normalcy. I don't know if we'll ever be normal, but some normalcy again, Skip. But don't you worry about that. The one thing I can tell you about this, be it the bubble, be it on a desert island, or be it in a gym arena, Lakers gonna put footsie. Okay.
I got the Clippers in 7 over the Lakers in the conference finals, and I got the Clippers over Kevin Durant and company in the finals. I'll call it in 6 games.
Nessa sweep the Clippers. Nessa sweep the Clippers.
Okay. Do we have due on that right now? Just a futures bet? I'll take 5 cases that they will not sweep. Nets will not sweep the Clippers.
Well, first of all, it'll never happen. Because y'all ain't gonna make it. Because you already know y'all not gonna make it.
Okay. Can we have that as a futures bet?
Yeah, sure.
5 cases. Thank you very much. I got that.
So how much we got on this Western Conference Finals bet?
Whatever you...
Well, make it light on yourself.
No, make it easy on yourself.
Make it light on yourself. Yeah. I keep telling you.
I'm a hopeless underdog here.
If you see me and a bear in a fight, don't help me. Don't help me. Help the bear and pour honey on me, because I want him to stay right there.
Really?
Because he'll stay out running when I start to whip him, but if I got honey on me, he go like, ooh, that tastes good, and I can whip him longer. So whatever you want to bet, Mr. Bayless.
The last I saw LeBron James was last Friday night, and he would you believe he committed 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes and had 8 turnovers in a preseason game? That's the way to get ready for the regular season.
But what about that 6'10.5" guy from west side of Chicago? MVP.
Oh, you got him for MVP?
Anthony Davis is the most complete player in the NBA. When you factor in offense and defense, no, not Giannis, not KD, not even LeBron can touch his all-around game.
I'll
offense
take
and
KD
defense.
any day, any night.
You can take whatever you want to, but he ain't getting the MVP.
KD over AD.
My guy, 28, 10, 2.5 MVP. Anthony Davis.
It is the Clippers' turn. It is their time.
Man, get them ugly shoes off the table.
What are they called again?
Jolly Ranchers.
Hey, you know what he did?
Do it, Kawhi. You got it tonight.
Tonight. He got stimulus check money. He bought some PPE shoes. He bought some orthopedic with that stimulus money.
That's not what's happening.
We got this.
Is this the official last day that Shannon can also gloat about the Lakers?
Oh, no.
This is it. This is the last day. It all starts again tonight. So enjoy it while you can.
We got some on the night game?
Yeah, do we?
No mercy.
What's up, Undisputed listeners? It's your boy, Shay Sharpe. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before 2 something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now back to Undisputed.
No mercy. The Bengals shocked the Steelers and really the rest of the football world with a huge 27-17 upset win last night. Pittsburgh turned the ball over 3 times in the loss and has now dropped their last 3 games since starting the season 11-0. While the Steelers have still clinched a playoff spot, they've tumbled all the way down to the number 3 seed and have left the door open for the Browns to possibly win the division. And afterward, Big Ben admitted Pittsburgh was frustrated by the loss, but added, quote, "I will never stop believing in this team." So, Shannon, who deserves the most blame for really the Steelers' collapse?
Well, Skip, it has to go to Ben in the offense. The offense has failed to score 17 points in any of the 3 straight losses. And what has happened is that because they can't run the football, Ben can't push the football down the field. Everything is screens and jet sweeps and get the ball out quick. Defenses are starting to squeeze the field on them. And when you squeeze the field, Skip, it gets harder and harder for you to generate offense. And let me tell you what happened, Skip. And when we played, when the time it was a lot more physical, and guys can't get physical now. But when we played the Raiders or the Chiefs, we would go into a game and says, guys, we might not get complete a lot of passes deep, but we got to back them up. Skip, if you didn't back up Dale Carter and James Hasty and Lewis and those guys, Terry McDaniel, if you didn't get them up off you, you couldn't beat them because they're not going anywhere. Steelers, Skip, 60 yards rushing. Ben is like 3rd in pass attempts, but he's 18th in yards passing per game. Skip, that doesn't correlate. So in other words, Skip, think about this. Last night he had, right here, where's Big Ben? Big Ben had 38 pass attempts for 170 yards. People, let that sink in for a second. 38 attempts for 170 yards.
Well, you should throw in that at halftime he had 7 total yards passing.
Well, he saw what Brady did.
7?
He said, I don't want you to feel bad, Tom. I'm outdo you.
Okay.
Come on. Who are you going to beat when you don't throw the football down the field and you can't run the football? You're not beating anybody. Skip, their defense is plenty good enough. I still think they can be had on the back end. They play a lot of trap coverages and try to trap you. But Limp, Skip, that game should have been blown over. He had Boyd wide open for a touchdown and he underthrew him. That game should have been over a long time ago. But Juju going to learn about that TikTok dancing. And you see how they give? You see what they do it? They're going to break him out of it. They might not stop him, but they'll break him of the habit. Ben gets the lion's share in this offense because I don't know if he can't or he's not, but he doesn't look the same. He looking a lot more like Phillip Rivers throwing the football, Skip. It look like it's arduous. Like you talking about throwing the javelin like Drew Brees. That's how it looks for Ben to push the ball down the field. Everything is short. Everything is screens. Everything is shallow crosses. And I don't know if you can't run the football, you can complete enough of those passes in order for you to get to your ultimate destination. But they better open this thing up. Skip, even if you don't complete them, you got to make people think you will throw the ball over the head, and they don't do that.
Okay, I will give you bulk of blame goes to Ben, but honorable mention, as you point out, is Juju. And I'm going to start with Juju because this is completely out of control, over the edge, out of line.
It's his ego now, though, Skip. I'm going to continue to do it.
I know it's today's kids. They live on social media. It's just what they do.
Okay.
Well, have fun because you know what Von Bell thought about that. He said, I'm going to get him back, and he got him good, didn't he? If we could see this. Here we are. We get it.
He need a new car because that Corvette cannot run anybody anymore.
You got to go dance on their logo in their stadium before the game and post it where they can see it? Are you kidding me? And we've had Juju on the show. He seems like a good kid. I don't know what's possessing him. And then can we see what Von Bell did to him? Because this was a big play in the game, obviously. Did he not get smashed? And obviously that was the second turnover.
Skip, I don't understand how they thought that was incomplete. Juju caught the ball and started running with it.
It wasn't incomplete.
I know, but they said on the field it was incomplete, and the Bengals challenged
I know,
it.
he ran 2 steps with it. No, I completely agree, and that was the second of the 3 early turnovers. One was mid-second quarter, but they gave them 3 short fields, and they scored field goal, touchdown to lead 17-0 at halftime with Ryan Finley at quarterback. It's impossible against what used to be the Pittsburgh defense.
Right.
But obviously, when you take away Devin Bush in the middle and you take away Bud Dupree, then Spillane was the backup to Devin Bush and was playing at a high level, and he's gone, and all of a sudden, you're just not the same.
You're not.
And
Skip, they could think about it. 22 dropped the interception that hit him in his hands.
Right.
Ben hit 57 right in his hands. He dropped it.
He did.
They could have easily had the Steelers could have easily had 5 turnovers last night.
Okay, before we leave Juju behind, I am the biggest Mike Tomlin fan, but I'm a little surprised Mike has not intervened on this and just said that's enough.
Yes.
No, because this is a team thing. You're hurting your team. You're putting them in a bind on the road. Remember, that's your arch rival within the division, right?
Yeah.
Come on, it's got a history to it, a legacy of rivalry, and they're a hopeless underdog, and you're going to fire them up at home on Monday Night Football?
I think it was the first time that 2 teams have won outright at least 14-point underdog.
One was 17, was the Jets.
Right, but Skip, this is also something, and we're going to keep it all the way real here. And I told people this: everybody wants to be top dog, but everybody can't be top dog. Now, Juju hadn't been the same receiver since AB left because AB got #1 coverage.
Yeah.
AB got roll coverage. You see the difference? Now, you look at DeAndre Hopkins. It does not matter who the quarterback is. D-Hop is D-Hop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, AB. You look at certain receivers, it doesn't matter because they're true #1s. Juju hasn't had a 100-yard receiving game since AB left.
He has not.
That's fact.
And by the way, Mike Tomlin let AB run amok.
Yes.
And now it feels like in a different way, he's letting Juju run amok at the team's expense. And I just don't understand it because something needs to be done to stop this.
Skip is an ego. I'm going to continue to do this. It's what I do. Okay, let me ask you a question. How does that help your team? What is that doing for your team? I understand what it's doing for you.
Yeah.
People on TikTok, they love it, and so you probably got 5-10 million followers. I get it. I get what it's doing for Juju, but what is it doing for the Steelers? Because ultimately, the football, if I didn't know, I thought it was the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Pittsburgh Schusters.
It's getting their butts beaten by an arch rival. That's what's happening.
And Skip, guys, if you look at them, and I think he talked about to the media. He says, I look at it being disrespectful, so I guess we're going to have to hit him on the field and hit him hard.
And he did.
Yes.
Okay. Now back to Ben. I don't know what happened after his should surgery.
Well, he had ligament.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Elbow, but but he's had shoulder issues also. Also. But my point is, now, have you ever tried to throw a football with your suit coat on and a coat and tie? Where you have to throw it like this?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes.
That's how he throws footballs, like he can't extend anymore.
Right.
So he can wrist flick it.
Right.
And that means 6 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards.
Right.
But there's no range of motion. He can't throw the football the way he used to throw it mid-range or deep. He just can't throw it.
Skip, if you look at it, his 38 looked a lot different than Brady's 38. His 38 looked a lot different than Breeze's 38. It looks a lot different than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron is 38. I think Aaron is like 37, 36, 37.
37, yeah.
But that throwing motion looks a lot different. Skip, Ben is an old 38. Ben is taking punishment.
He makes Phillip Rivers' velocity look like Josh Allen. No, seriously. What has happened? It's hard to watch because there's no there anymore.
No.
So he did heat up in the fourth quarter and kind of gutted it up because he's a champ at heart. He's won his couple Super Bowls.
Right.
So he did have a flurry, and he did throw one late pass to Claypool, his new young receiver, and I thought it was pretty blatant pass interference, as we could see this. And this would have
I thought he was falling on his own.
Yeah, I just thought he was hanging all over his shoulder. It looked like pass interference to me. He's a little early. He grabbed his shoulder the first, but even if you get that call, can you do anything with it? Can you get the ball in the end zone from there? I doubt it.
But think about what he had to do, Skip, in order to get the ball down the field.
Yeah.
He had to draw up a play backyard point or get down the field. If you look at Cincinnati's right there. Cincinnati was playing man coverage. Like, y'all not going nowhere. Y'all not going to throw the ball over our head. That's why when they got that touchdown to Deontay Johnson, the dude was Sharpe.
Yep.
He actually threw it over my head because normally everything is underneath.
Yep. So would you believe that Ben Roethlisberger's offense over the last 2 games is 5 of 26 on third down? Let that compute. 5 of 26.
You're not winning any games like that.
That means, wait a second, that means, look at how many times they've missed on third down. Really?
Skip, remember they had
21 times? So in the last 2 games, they've missed 21 third down conversions?
Skip, it just gets harder and harder. And I think at one point they showed a stat, there was like 7 of 8 3-and-outs. Skip, I mean, they had one possession that was a minute and a punt. And then they had a fumble. And then they had another interception. And then I'm like, bro, you're not winning no game. But Skip, you cannot run the football that ineffective.
Yep.
Throw the football 4 and 5 yards and say, yeah, we're a Super Bowl contending team.
Yep.
How? How you going to generate enough points that way? And then once teams get T.J. Watt neutralized, then where's the rest of your pressure coming from?
Which is why they have 3 sacks in the last 2 games after they led the world in sacks through their first
because
part of
because you have Bud Dupree, you had T.J. with their hands, and then you have Cam Hayward, and you have Tuitt. Okay, now you got 4 guys that can go. But once I can just because T.J. is the guy that I'm really worried about. That's the guy that I'm really worried about. That's the guy that really concerns me. But now I ain't got to worry about Bud Dupree. Hey, left tackle, you on your own. Hey, Chip, help on T.J. Watt, and we're going to go play football from there.
And then all of a sudden, Ryan Finley looked like Michael Vick. He's running options and just gashing them.
Well, what happened when you get nosy, Skip? When you got responsibility and you go down there. He took our... I'm like, dude, hold on.
What?
And they tried it a couple of more times at the end of the game. They got greedy.
So they lost to a 14.5-point underdog that did not have Joe Burrow, who's an all-world rookie quarterback, and obviously Joe Mixon, who's their best running back. And they didn't have it. It's back to Giovanni. That's all they got. And Ryan Finley. Really?
And they beat the Steelers. Hey, Skip, you do realize that there's a good chance that the last game of the season might come down to the division, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Steelers might better be careful. Because if they're not careful, the Colts will beat them on Sunday or whenever they play. The Colts can beat them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, you know what my biggest takeaway was from last night? Maybe that Cowboy 30-7 win just a week ago at Cincinnati was more impressive than you think. Dallas won 30-7 at Cincinnati.
Really?
Wait, Pittsburgh just lost and Dallas won there?
Really, Skip?
And maybe that means the Cowboys have taken off, that it's legit.
Jalen Hurts will go put an end to that on Sunday.
We'll see.
It always comes back to the Cowboys somehow. It always does.
Your day coming.
We are not talking about the Cowboys just yet. I want to go back to the NBA because tonight is a big night for all of us. So get this, NBA.com released the results of their annual GM survey. And while more than 80% of the responses picked the Lakers to repeat this year, yes, that's for you, Shannon, there was one notable snub when it came to LeBron. For the question, which player would you want taking a shot with the game on the line? Damian Lillard led the voting with 32%, followed by Steph, Katie, Luka, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Jamal Murray. However, most surprising was that the reigning Finals MVP LeBron received 0 votes in the category. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
It tells me that how repetitions of things over time get repeated and how it becomes truth or fact. And that's kind of how it is. And if you go back and look at our history, things get repeated over and over and over again. And then you're not knowing any better. You take that to be fact. You take that to be the gospel. But this is what we know to be true. That this is not speculation, Skip. This is not conjecture. This is not innuendo. This is fact. LeBron James has more playoff buzzer beaters than every other player that got a vote combined. Let that sink in. Every player that the general manager says, I would want him to take the last shot. LeBron James, who did not get a vote, has more playoff buzzer beaters than every other player combined that got a vote. In the final minutes of a playoff game, on a game-time or go-ahead shots in their career, Kevin Durant is 28%. Steph Curry is 29%. Dame Lillard is 32%. LeBron James is 48%. Let that sink in. Now, that's not speculation, Skip. This is not me making stuff up. This is like, oh, you a LeBron fan, man. You was there, you all that. Skip, these are the numbers. Go look it up. But see, the narrative is, and you have helped perpetuate it, and I don't like you for doing that. You're a great person, but you're dead wrong for this one, Skip. You have perpetuated this for the better part. When you say first take up on 2007?
No, you got to go back to cold pizza.
Okay, cold pizza.
Yeah,
okay.
seriously.
So 03, 04?
04.
Okay.
Started in 04.
So So I fought you for this 16 years of conspiracy theories.
Yep.
Sidney Powell, I can't believe you did this because you got people actually believing that LeBron James cannot take or make clutch shots when he has more playoff buzzer beaters than Dame and Steph and KD and everybody that got combined. And look at the percentages, Skip. Almost 50% on game time or go-ahead shots in his career in the final minutes. Almost 50%. Nobody else is over 35%. And the narrative is LeBron James is unclutched. Wow. You see what you've done? I hope you feel proud of yourself. I hope you sleep good at night.
I'm about to do it again. Now, I want everybody to let this sink in. Michael Jordan has the all-time most buzzer beaters, regular season and post, of 9. Kobe and Joe Johnson are next on that all-time list, including all games played, with 8. LeBron is next on that list with 7. But here's the big difference between Michael Jordan at 9 and LeBron at 7. LeBron now has played 274 more games than Michael Jordan. Think about that. That's a lot of games. That's about 3.5 basketball seasons more that LeBron has played over Michael. So now LeBron in 1,525 games has made 7 buzzer beaters. That's regular and post.
Yes.
Michael made 9 in just 1,251, 274 fewer games. So LeBron James has made 1 buzzer beater in every 161 games he's played, or sort of 1 every 2 seasons that he's played, okay?
And Michael made how many? 1 every 1.5 season?
That's 9 in 1,251. So you could say...
Yeah, 1.5 season.
Yeah, okay. So, again, buzzer beaters are pretty rare for everybody.
Thank you.
But we have to look harder at how many that LeBron has missed. And I even looked harder because I started this on Cold Pizza. I thought he was all-time great when I watched him at what is it, St. Mary, St. Vincent. Is that how you say it? St. Mary, St. Vincent. I watched him on TV in high school. I said, that guy is next. He's got next. St. Vincent, St. Mary. That guy's got next. Here we go. And yet then 2 years in, I'm saying, wait a second. In late game situations, he looks like he's running from the late game free throw line because he is the worst superstar ever. Late game, late and close free throws. He's the last guy you want on the free throw line. So then he started making the right pass, and his apologists were defending him. He made the right pass because it was his turn to shoot it. He had single coverage with somebody.
No, his turn, Skip, you make the right play.
Yeah, but if you're that guy, if you're Michael Jordan, if you got next, you just take and make that shot on a fairly consistent basis, and he did not. So
would you say Michael Jordan took and made more or took and missed more buzzer beaters that?
You ready for the misses? Since LeBron James, I want everybody to let this sink in. Since LeBron James came into this league, no one is even close to how many late and close field goal shots that he's missed. 2 or 3 point shots. He's missed 92. Next on that list is Dwayne Wade, who didn't play all those years across LeBron, with 77. But how about late and close free throws? LeBron has missed 15 in his career. Next on the list is J.R. Smith at 8 since LeBron came into the league. So he's missed extremely high volume number of shots. So what are the odds after a while you're going to make one occasionally, aren't you?
So let me ask you a question. So from 83 until 93, who would you say took the most buzzer beater shots in that time frame? I would say Michael Jordan.
Probably.
Okay, so now you're saying LeBron took the most. Well, shouldn't he if he's the best player? Well, Michael took the most from 84 to 93, but I don't hear you saying anything about all those he missed.
So here's the point. Every year they do this, the NBA.com GM poll. And year after year, LeBron gets no votes because they know what the truth is. He's all-time great. You can argue whatever we want to, top 5, top 10, whatever. But he doesn't have that clutch gene, because even if you look at the ones that he made, the first one came 6 years into his career. I watch every game. He made one at Golden State on a Friday night in 2009 over Ronnie Turioff. And I watched it, and he made a little, it's like a 12, 14-foot jump shot, and it was good. And he made it at the buzzer to win the game. And then he made that Orlando shot heard round the world in game 2 to save them. And it was a catch and shoot on an inbound pass from Mo Williams, where it's right at the buzzer where he had no time to think about it.
You did?
No, but he just caught it, turned and shot it, and Turkoglu just let him shoot it.
What else could he do, Skip, with point 3, point 4?
You don't have time to decide, should I pass it? Should I shoot it? Do I have to worry about the free throw line? He just turned and shot it. Then the next one is game 1 against Indiana and Paul George. He has a left-handed layup at the buzzer to win the game, and he made it. And I give him that. He's 6'9". He made a left-handed layup.
You have to make he doesn't know. All he knows is that I'm going to get the ball. It's not his fault that Paul George chose to play backside, and then he gave him the spin and let him go to the lane. That's
just silly. Okay, but again, what's the degree of difficulty of that buzzer beater? Like 1 on a scale of 10. I mean, you still got to, you could miss it, but he just laid it up off the glass. And he is ambidextrous because he writes left-handed. Okay,
correct,
so I got it. And then he gets mad at Chicago because Coach Blatt calls the play for Kyrie because Blatt knew what everybody else, he's thinking the same thing. I don't want him taking my last shot. I want Kyrie taking my last shot.
What had given David Blatt? Because prior to that time, Kyrie hadn't taken or making any buzzer beaters. He hadn't made any last-second shot. So what would make David Blatt, given the circumstances, more convinced that Kyrie was the guy to take the shot than LeBron when LeBron had already made those shots?
Okay, but he just knew, I want that guy taking my shot. Well, you know it, and I know it.
Skip.
And LeBron, to his credit, got mad and said, hell no.
Skip.
I want the basketball, and he shot it. It was a 2-point shot from the baseline, and he made it.
Prior to that, Kyrie had never even come close to the playoffs. LeBron had made playoff
David Blatt knew what the deal was.
Skip, do you remember the shot in Game 7 against Kawhi Leonard? He took and made that shot.
Yeah?
Yeah, he took that.
Which one are you talking about?
Game 7, when they came back in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
But it wasn't really even close.
It was close.
Okay, it was not.
We came back and got you.
Okay, well, he had just missed the one to tie.
No, I ain't say Game 6, I said Game 7.
Well, he missed the one to tie, and he got saved.
But see, here's the thing, though, Skip. I'm just trying to figure out a man that has more. Skip, now, you see, what you try to do is that you added regular season. Now, when we come, you tell me playoffs is where it's at. The playoffs.
Okay,
this guy has more playoffs.
Then he goes down, he goaltends Oladipo against Indiana.
He didn't.
Yes, he did. It was a flat-out goaltend, and all the Pacers are looking at the ref like, how could you not blow the whistle on that one? And LeBron snakes the other way and makes a jump shot to win the game while they are still complaining to the referee.
No, Skip, not a jump shot. A three-pointer.
Okay,
well, then tell him about his Toronto, because he had 2 in one postseason.
I will go to my grave telling you he didn't mean to bank it against Toronto because he dribbles the length of the floor because Ty Lue had the wisdom to say, let's not take the ball at half court. Let's just let LeBron get up ahead of steam, remember, on Anunoby? And he goes the length of the floor, and he gets so deep to the baseline that he shoots it sideways, and it ticks off the backboard. He did not mean to bank it, and it goes in. And I think the most shot guy in the house was LeBron James.
LeBron wasn't shot because he shoots that shot all the time.
You need the backboard there because you can barely kick the backboard.
He got $1 billion contract with Nike. The bank is always open for Gold James.
Okay, so what have we seen in the playoffs? Let's just do the most recent playoffs. Let's do Game 2 against Denver. It's a turning point of this series, and it's just 2 seconds left, and they are down 2 at this point. And the play is called for your man LeBron James. You're saying like, okay, he's clutch, and here we go. And He freezes. He does not move. Rondo said, I locked eyes with LeBron. He did not move.
But
players called for LeBron.
Decoy.
Oh, but you don't decoy on a play called for you.
Yes, you do. Because guess what? Because can tell the people what happened. What did Mason Plumlee do? His guy is the who, Skip? Anthony Davis. He runs to LeBron because Jeremy Grant said, come. Gotcha.
LeBron, no clutch gene, knew what was happening in the fourth quarter. He was 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3 in the fourth quarter, and 0 of 1 from the free throw line. And he's like, I know they called this for me, but I want no part of this. I hope somebody else gets open.
But so let me get
and
this straight.
Anthony has to run all the way across the floor to the far side to get Rondo's eyes, lock eyes with LeBron to get the basketball.
Skip, you make it seem like AD ran from L.A. to San Francisco.
Well, it was a long ways.
It wasn't no long ways. So
he ran completely across the floor.
I'm trying to figure what. You just help me understand, Skip. Tell me the player that has more playoff buzzer beaters in the playoffs than LeBron James. I just need to know the player. I don't care what era. I don't care who he is. I don't care if it's Larry Bird, Magic, Jordan, Kobe. I just need you to tell me the player that has more playoff buzzer beaters than LeBron James.
And I need you to tell me who has turned down more of those, who has made the right play or run from the free throw line more than LeBron. There's nobody close to him. Like, what about Game 5 of the finals? Just this past year's finals against the Heat.
Yes.
What does LeBron do? He drives it. They're down.
Yes.
Okay, they're down. What were they? Down 2.
Down 2.
And he drives to the right. And you got to just take the shot. If you're that guy, get to the free throw line. You can make those free throws, or maybe you can't. Maybe you decided you just can't make it.
Skip.
And he whips the ball all the way back out to Danny Green.
3 guys.
Just go up. You think you'll get that call?
No.
You'll get that call.
Skip, they're not bailing you out in that
He's
situation.
LeBron James.
No, Skip. He made the right play. But let me ask you a question. Had he made the shot, you wouldn't have said a word. See, you can't go by the end result, Skip. It's easy to do that. It's easy. Why do you? I don't even know why you do that.
Okay, let's look at the other. How about the other classic one?
Science.
End of game 1. LeBron is on fire. This is 2018 at Golden State, at Oracle. You've got the champs on the ropes, and you got the hottest hand you've ever had in a playoff game. And you get a switch of Steph Curry guarding you at the free throw line. He's 6'3", you're 6'9". Just shoot it.
Skip,
just
look
go
at
up and shoot
Okay,
it.
look
Now
at
go
KD.
up.
Look at KD.
Go. Just take one dribble and shoot a jump shot. You're on fire.
Man,
You've scored 48 points.
Skip, you see Steph Curry got him at the top of the, got him at the three-point.
Go up right now. Just take one dribble and jump and shoot.
Let me ask you a question. When have you ever seen LeBron James do that? Tell me the time you've seen LeBron James do that.
He's the GOAT.
See,
that's what you tell me.
No,
he's the GOAT.
Skip,
you got a 6'3" guy on you.
That would be like me. That would be like me telling you Tom Brady should have ran 20 yards for the first down. When have you ever seen Tom Brady run 20 yards for a first down? That's all I'm saying.
It's a 17-foot jump shot. You can make that.
Skip, first of all, he's at the three-point line, and I don't know if there's any 17-point three-pointers, not even in high school, not in elementary school.
You can take one dribble on Steph Curry and go up from 17 feet.
Skip, did you see KD? Did you see Draymond?
You can get that shot easy, quick. You know it, and I know it. Goats take that shot.
But all I'm saying is the shots that he's taking and making, you give him no credit, or you try to diminish it by saying, oh, he didn't have to think about it, or he got lucky. Why didn't other guys get lucky? Why didn't the other guys take shots they didn't have to think about and make it? Why is he making all of those?
Highest IQ in basketball, and he knew at Oracle, we're down 1. If I go up and take this jumper, it's do or die. If it misses, it's on me, and we lost.
So basketball IQ. So basketball IQ is kind of like analytics. Analytics weighs the probability of situation in this. So in other words, the analytics said LeBron James driving and kicking the ball to Danny Green was the right play. The basketball analytics says LeBron James passing to George Hill was the right play.
So to sum this up, I want you to explain to our viewers why LeBron is the worst late-game free throw shooter of any superstar in the history of this game. He is the all-time liability at the late-game, close-game free throw line. And you call him the GOAT. How can you do that? How can you justify that?
Skip, Billie Holiday, the great Billie Holiday, had a song where she said, hush now, don't explain.
Oh, don't explain? Because you can't. You're disqualified from being the GOAT if you run from the late game free throw line.
That's not what they said. They said clutch shot. They didn't say nothing about no free throw.
Well, it's included.
5.
Who do you want taking the last shot?
This-
And again, the last shot could be to draw a foul and go to the free throw line and make 2 free throws.
All I'm saying is that everybody that got a vote in this survey, LeBron James has more buzzer beaters than all of them combined. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
17 years, he's got way more opportunities. Way to go.
No mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, it's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we could all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you.
No mercy.
Well, Pro Bowl rosters were announced yesterday, and for only the 3rd time in their 60-year history, the Cowboys had 0 players selected. Most recently, the 1989 Dallas team was perhaps the worst in franchise history when they went 1-15 in Jerry Jones' first year owning the team. And although this team has a much better record already at 5-9, their usual Pro Bowl regulars like Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Dak Prescott have all missed significant time due to injury, like we know. So, Shannon, did they get this right?
All I heard at the beginning of the season, they absolutely got it correct, was how many Pro Bowlers were on this roster. Skip Bayless told me every day for almost 6 years, since 2014, only the Kansas City Chiefs have drafted more Pro Bowl players than the Dallas Cowboys.
I think it's over 10 years.
Over 10
it would
years?
actually be 2010.
Which makes this even more egregious. So what you're telling me, so let's see. Wolf Hunter, Pro Bowler, Jalen Smith, D. Law, Alden Smith, Don Terry Poe, Everson Griffin, Ha Clinton Dix. Woo, all those guys. And then you got Zeke and you got Tyron Smith. I get it. Tyron Smith has played about 2 games this year. He's out. Shouldn't have made it. Zach Martin has missed 6 games and left early in 2 other games. I get that. But what about Amari Cooper? What about Zeke? What about Wolf Hunter? What about Jalen Smith? What about Tyler? What about D. Law? I want to know, Skip, and I've told you all year, these guys have underachieved. Now, if you tell me, if you want to go, I just want you tell me, are they system guys? Because you say it's the system. It's Mike Nolan's system. So are you telling me they're system guys? Because there's some guys that supersede any system. LT could have been LT in a 3-4 or a 43. Bruce could have been the same because he played in both. Because Wade Phillips was the D coordinator. So I just need you to hear me. I just want you to tell me, what are they, Skip? I keep telling you, you in Pro Football Focus, every year they rate them the most talented football team. Talent isn't worth a damn if you don't perform. Have they performed? No. That's why they are where they are. I've been trying to tell you this, and now I finally got confirmation. There's nothing but, Skip, you know what? Anytime you get anything, you get a hotel room, Mr. Sharpe, your confirmation that your number is such. You get an airplane, your travel. Mr. Sharpe, your confirmation is such. You need confirmation. I needed confirmation because if you'd have had Pro Bowl players, you could have said, see, it's the coaches. You got Pro Bowl players. No, you don't, because you're not worthy.
Interesting. So, wouldn't it be something if my Cowboys won the NFC East and played a home playoff game without a single Pro Bowler? Wouldn't that be something?
Look, now I don't want people to think that the Pro Bowl is the end-all, be-all, because every year people get selected. Skip, how the hell Evan Ingram with 1 touchdown? Skip, it's offensive that an offensive skill player makes the Pro Bowl with 1 touchdown. Hendrickson, Skip, you know Hendrickson should have been in the Pro Bowl. Chase Young has been fabulous. Cam Jordan is fabulous, but they have not played this kid. Don't be talking about, well, next year be his turn. No. You didn't
answer my question.
What?
Wouldn't it be something if my Dallas Cowboys won the NFC East and played a home playoff game with 0 Pro Bowlers?
No.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't it be something if you don't make the playoffs this year? Wouldn't it be something the Dallas Cowboys?
What if we do?
But what if you don't? I believe there's a greater chance. So what are the odds? Are the odds in favor that you do or you don't?
definitely in favor of you don't.
Okay.
But we'll see.
I will ride with those odds.
Weird things happen in
You wanna put-
2020.
We already got do on it. You want to put some on it?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Weird things happen. And
They happened already. You won 5 games.
Okay. So, obviously, if Ty Smith stays healthy the whole year, he's in the Pro Bowl, right? It'd be a done deal because it's a reputation sort of acclamation where people just vote. They just blindly vote.
Offensive linemen, they can't get stats. They don't catch touchdowns or rush touchdowns, sack the quarterback.
Okay, if Travis Frederick had not retired, I'm pretty sure he would have made another Pro Bowl because he was right in the middle of his prime when he was forced to retire. Okay, Lyle Collins. I can't say for a fact if he had been healthy all year, he would have made the Pro Bowl, but I would have given it about an 80% shot that he would have made the Pro Bowl. Which brings me to Zach Martin. Obviously, he should have made the Pro Bowl, period, end of story.
Skip.
He started 10 games. I'm sorry, he started 10 games. That's enough. Pro Football Focus ranks him as the second best guard in football. I still rank him as the best offensive lineman overall in all of football. If 10 games, 10 out of 16, so that's 10/16ths of the season. It's more than half the year. If you started that many games, you should be in the Pro Bowl.
So let me ask you, so are you basing it on reputation because they don't have a 1,000-yard rusher? They don't have a 3,000 or 4,000-yard passer. They don't have 1,000-yard receivers. So how are we going to get Zach Martin? So what has he done to say, you know what? I understand that he's been an all-pro basically his entire career. I understand he's been a Pro Bowl player basically his entire career. But this year, and see, that's the problem that I have because a lot of times people get, you get grandfathered in. You've gone so many times and you just look, oh, Zach Martin, yeah, let's just write him in there. Oh, this guy just right. No. When you look at Scout, so if that's the case, Zach Martin, so why is Zeke struggling?
Well, he's only 1 out of 5, right? And if you throw the tight end in there, he's 1 out of 6, right?
Interesting.
Want to bet that he's dominated his position? I know we can't break down film of the right guard every Sunday, but I will bet you he has dominated the way nobody has dominated.
I think the thing is, Skip, is because he's missed time. Because you remember, he went out, the second series against Washington with that concussion. He has 2 games like that. So I think he's missed like 3 or 4 games, and he's been out, and now he's out for the rest of the year. So he's going to miss 6 games total.
Which brings me to my quarterback, who obviously is not around anymore. Dak Prescott went down against the Giants in the first game. Unfortunately, if Dak Prescott were still there throwing, I don't know that the record would be any better, but they would be throwing at a much higher clip and a much higher success rate than Andy Dalton can throw. I never said Andy Dalton was Dak Prescott. He's pretty good, but he's not Dak. So what would be happening with my 3 receivers? You don't think one of them, if Dak were still upright and healthy, you don't think one of my receivers would be in the Pro Bowl? Somebody would have made it.
Now, Skip, the way we do this, now, if somebody goes, if one of your guys go, so that means you got to take off D-Hop, you got to take out Devontae. You got to take out DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, and probably Calvin Ridley is probably first up. Now, what happens if Julio's healthy?
Well, he's not.
Okay.
So Calvin Ridley would have been gone, or Justin Jefferson would have been gone. If one of these guys, and again, Amari's on track. If he has 2 big games in, he'll have his best season ever.
Skip.
But they're 5-9.
You do realize Justin Jefferson just broke the rookie receiving yardage record by Randy Moss.
Okay. He had a good game Sunday, but the previous 6 games by Justin Jefferson, I dare you to go back and look at them. They weren't very good.
Skip.
He hit the rookie wall about halfway.
He's one of 5 receivers in the history of the NFL to record at least 6 100 yards receiving games.
Okay.
I wish I had a rookie that could hit the wall like that.
I wish I had Dak Prescott throwing to CeeDee Lamb all the way home for 14 games. It would have been unbelievable what would happen. It was already, you could already see it coming. I had 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers, and I'll say with Dak, at least 2 of them would have already be over 1,000 right now, and they would be Pro Bowl candidates.
And guess what, Skip? You would. You probably have all 3 of them, but your record wouldn't be much better.
I doubt it would be, but they would have much better Pro Bowl
So you want
credentials.
stats?
No, I'm just saying that's what would happen. These are the facts. They're not the stats. They're just the facts of what would have happened. My defense, on the other hand, has been all-time deplorable, awful, disgusting, stomach-turning. I can't defend anybody, but DeMarcus Lawrence had a big game this past Sunday. He finally came alive.
But not enough of those.
Okay, I got it.
You think he's had a better season than Hendrickson from New Orleans?
No, he is not. And Aldon Smith got off to a hot start for the first 6, 7 games, but then he hit the midseason wall because he hasn't played in 5 years. He came back to life on Sunday, and maybe he's got enough life left down the stretch that both he and D-Law are going to start wreaking more havoc against Philly and against the Giants.
Skip, you've been around this a long, long time. You see guys every year that get, I mean, I don't know how not one of the Tampa linebackers, one guy's like third in the league in tackles, got 8 sacks, all these tackle for losses, and he didn't make it.
Devin White.
Yeah, so we go through this, Skip, but to sit here and say that the Cowboys should have, based on what we've seen, no, they shouldn't. You know good and well they shouldn't have not one. They shouldn't even have a first or second alternate to the Pro Bowl. Who? Because has Cooper had a better season than Calvin Ridley? Honestly, Skip, has he had a better receiving season than Calvin Ridley? No, he hasn't.
Calvin Ridley had a good season on Sunday against Tampa Bay. He had one in the first half. He had a good season.
Yeah, the dude is on pace to catch for 1,400 yards.
Yeah.
And you
he caught 163 yards or something.
Let me ask you a question. Is Amari on pace for to catch 1,400?
No, he is not.
Okay.
But you know what I love about this conversation? Is that my team is going to be unhappy with this because so many of them have been to the Pro Bowl before. You just listed a whole bunch of guys.
13. Coming into the season, they had 13 guys that have been to the Pro Bowl.
And none of them are going.
None.
And that will motivate them Sunday against Jalen Hurts and company coming to Jerry World. It will continue to motivate them as they go up to play their ex-coach, old 8-8 Jason Garrett, in the season finale at the Giants.
You do realize they got a couple of Pro Bowlers on that D-line, though.
Yeah.
Old Fletch and Brandon Graham.
Okay, good. Bring them on. We got
No mercy.
Well, I like this. Christmas is coming a few days early tonight with the return of the NBA, including the big Clippers-Lakers matchup, which we thought we were going to see in the Western Conference Finals a few months back. And as always, we've got a ton of storylines to keep an eye on. LeBron's quest for back-to-back rings, the Clippers trying to right the ship under a new coach, KD's first year in Brooklyn, the ever-going drama of where James Harden will end up playing, and so much more. Finally, tonight's the night. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard is joining us. Chris, what is your finals matchup and who wins it all? We're jumping right into it.
Just skip over the 82 games and the 3 rounds of playoffs.
All of it.
I've got the Lakers and Brooklyn in a finals full of delicious storylines. I mean, you got LeBron versus Kyrie, KD versus AD, LeBron going for his 5th ring, one shy of Michael. You got KD going for his first ring where he is the leader of the team. It is his franchise. And if LeBron and KD meet in the finals, you could argue this is the fairest matchup they've had. If you want to say when they first met in Oklahoma City, KD was young, certainly Harden and Westbrook were young, and LeBron had veterans with Wade and Bosh and a bunch of other people around him, I'll give you that. When they met in Golden State, I mean, come on, the cards were stacked in KD's favor, so that really wasn't fair for LeBron. This would really be like a fair matchup. Both of them have deep teams, good supporting cast, and one extra superstar. So this would just be wonderful if these two teams met. Look, the Lakers are the only team in the league with 2 top 5 players, and I can make an argument that they're the deepest team in the league. I don't think they'll drop off when LeBron's on the bench or sits out a game like they did last year because they're so deep. You got another legitimate 18-point scorer in Dennis Schroeder. Marc Gasol is smart. Montrezl Harrell, Markieff Morris, Kyle Kuzma. You could go on and on. With Brooklyn, they're the only team in the East with 2 unstoppable scorers. You want to say Philly's a competition? Ben Simmons not only can be stopped, he stops himself. Milwaukee, Giannis, their best player, can be stopped. They don't have a bona fide second superstar. Boston, outside of Jason Tatum, Kemba's very good. You know, Jaylen Brown's very good, but they're really good, but not great. And nobody on Miami is unstoppable. So I like Brooklyn and East. My only question about the Nets is Kyrie's personality, mentality. Does his moodiness, does his bizarre behavior get on the nerves of some of his teammates and mess up the locker room? I don't think it will. So I'm going with Brooklyn to lose to the Lakers in a great finals.
Oh, hey, don't look at it. He always go ahead, go. You all upset, go ahead, go. I don't even want to go next.
Chris Broussard, you sold me out. What happened to the Clippers? You drove the bandwagon all last year. What did they do so wrong to lose your love? I don't get what the problem is here. How did the world flip on its head all of a sudden and the Lakers became prohibitive Western Conference favorites?
Look, LeBron showed me a lot last year. Him playing point guard, and I know he may not be there as much this year, but that was, I don't want to say easy, but the smoothest ride he's had to a championship in his career. You know, all of his 3 previous championships were really tough to win. And he was smooth last year because I think his position was more defined at point guard. He obviously didn't fall off any because of age, and now they've added depth. And the Clippers, I agree with you, Skip, that they'll be tough. I think they're the second best team, not only in the West, but in the league. But they don't have a leader. As great as Kawhi is, we know he's not a leader. Who's their leader on the floor? So I think they're just a notch below the Lakers.
Do you realize LeBron James got every break he could have gotten last year, starting with the pandemic, which gave him almost 5 months to rest up, heal up, and prepare for a run through a bubble that most teams, including the Clippers, did not want to be part of? Do you realize LeBron got to play the whole playoff run without taking a single flight in year 17? He could almost walk to the gymnasium or the arena where they played each night. He got every break he could have gotten through the playoff run because the Clippers were favored by all the odds makers going into last year's playoffs. They were favored by more points each night against Denver than the Lakers were ultimately favored against Denver. And the Clippers flexed their muscles against Denver. They were up 3-1, then they were up 15 in the first closeout, 19 in the second closeout, 12 in the third closeout, and they could not close the door. I got it. Leadership, point guard. They did not add a playoff Rondo point guard in the offseason, but think about what LeBron dodged the biggest bullet of his career, the Clippers. He didn't have to face the Clippers because the Nuggets took care of that. And then we get to the finals. LeBron got to play the 5th seed in the East, a 5th seed that lost its leading playoff scorer in game number 1 and lost its heart and soul player Bam in game number 1. Dragic and Bam gone for the rest of the finals, and Bam was a shell of himself when he did come back. What more could you ask? The Lakers proved little to nothing to me last year. And then, wait a second. They lost playoff Rondo, their 3rd best player. They lost Dwight Howard, who gave them physicality and edge they don't have anymore with Marc Gasol. They lost JaVale, just length and shot blocking they don't have anymore. They continue to lose down the line. They lost Danny Green, a wily 3-and-D veteran. They lost Avery Bradley, the hero of their first win over the Clippers in the regular season last year with 5 threes. I don't get it. How did they get any better with Schroeder and a cast-off? You realize we said no to Montrezl Harrell, and you said yes.
But Chris, you notice at the time of we signing all of those guys, they were marginal players. They weren't worth anything. We win the championship, and now they're so invaluable. It's like Dwight Howard was Kevin McHale. It was like Avery Bradley was Benny Johnson. I'm like, well, what happened? You said they were just guys last year. Because everybody was hyping up the Clippers.
I was cheerleading for Dwight the whole year. That was Dwight at his best. He was on his best behavior. Yes. You know it and I know it, and you're going to miss him.
See what happened with the Clippers, Skip? The Clippers are the guys at the gym with the tank top on, making all the noise, and weak as well water. So y'all did all that talking, put up all the billboards. This is Kawhi Town. You love that commercial. For 2 months, Chris, I had to come out here and see the commercial. Bam! Right between LeBron's eyes, he took a shot at the king.
He did.
Yeah. And look what he got him. Look what he got him, Skip. I keep telling you, Skip, you make your destiny.
It got him favored to win it all last year, going into the playoffs.
Skip,
that's what it got him.
Skip, do you realize I was the favorite.
I think you have to admit two things, Skip. One, Anthony Davis is going to be better this year. I think he's going to probably make a better run at the MVP than LeBron this year. He's got the confidence now to know he can get it done at the highest level. His swagger's going to be much higher. I think AD's going to be better.
Did you see him Friday night, Chris?
KCP, Caruso, these role players.
Did you see AD Friday night?
Secondly, Skip, what was that?
Did you see AD Friday night against Phoenix? Did you see what he did in that little bit of time he played?
Did you see what LeBron did with 8 turnovers in a preseason game? Way to go, King. Next.
He's going to ease his way into this season. Here's a question, Skip, that I want to ask you about Kawhi. And I like Kawhi, but if we look at his 2 championships, we know in San Antonio he wasn't the man. He was maybe the 4th best player on the team. So there were no expectations on him. He wins that championship finals MVP. Toronto, he was clearly the best player, but no expectations. Nobody expected Toronto to win the championship. Then when they do get there, Golden State's broken down. Last year was the first time, and I didn't see it coming. That's why I picked the Clippers. But last year was the first time Kawhi has had to shoulder expectations. Now we expect you to win it, Kawhi. It's championship or bust. LeBron's played with that pressure on him his entire career, and Kawhi melted under the pressure against Denver. Now, I'm not saying he can't turn it around this year, but this is the first time in his career he's playing with the pressure to win it. And what's he going to do about it?
Chris, you're forgetting the circumstances of the bubble. It was bubble trouble for the Clippers. My friend Jared Dudley said a couple of weeks back on a podcast, those boys did not want to be in that bubble. They were here and gone. They were out. They were back in. They voted out. It looked like they weren't going to finish in the bubble. And obviously, Paul George just came apart in the bubble off the court. He said he faced anxiety and depression, needed counseling. Well, what if there's not a bubble this year? Paul George is still a top 10 player. He's an all-star who can make first-team all-defense.
We've seen Paul George melt down in the playoffs before. Did you see him the year before?
He's a complimentary star to Kawhi Leonard. Let's see a team that is fully engaged without a Montrez in the locker room causing problems. He was the malcontent. He was the troublemaker.
No, the troublemakers came between Kawhi and Paul George when they wouldn't practice and they wouldn't play. That's when the trouble arose. And your guy melted. You heard Chris said he melted like a Hershey Kiss on the dashboard in the Georgia Heat. That's what happened. Chris said it. And Skip,
I don't think he said that.
Oh, my bad. Skip, your guy has never been the leader. Tony Parker and Tim Duncan were the leaders. Kyle Lowry. See, his style of leadership works well when things are going well. But when you have come some dissension, that's when you see leadership. My guy, Go James.
Okay, well, the battle for LA, it continues. It happens tonight. It is a battle, Shannon. Yes, it is.
Here we go.
Who is the real king? I'm looking forward to it. And Chris, we're going to have some new material to talk about, and we will check in with you very, very soon.
No mercy.
Pro Bowl rosters were announced yesterday, and Tom Brady missed the cut in his first year in the NFC. While Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson weren't a surprise, some people were taken aback that Kyler Murray got the 3rd QB spot over Brady despite having fewer wins, passing yards, and passing TDs. So, Shannon, did Kyler deserve it over Brady?
Yeah, of course he did. Brady had not played at a Pro Bowl level consistently this year. And he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year because he didn't deserve to go. He's had a few good moments, Skip. But if you look at the totality of games, I mean, you look at the first half against San Diego, he didn't play well, but he played well in the second half. You look at the game against just past Sunday against Atlanta, played well in the second half, but didn't play well. People are forgetting he has a 37 QBR and a 5 QBR against New Orleans. Forgetting the downs, I mean, he did this many. In 4 of the last 5 games, Tom Brady quarterback rating has been 50 or below. Is that good, Skip Bayless?
Is it my turn?
No, not your turn. Kyler has an edge in Brady of QBR, completions, yards per attempt, and total touchdowns. So if I were to ask you, defensive coordinators, defensive back, Who concerns you? Who scares you more?
That'd be a good question.
Kyler Murray or Tom Brady? Well, I think you got your answer. Because that's Tom Brady. Universal regarded. He to go. Skip Baby, go. Everybody buying Tom Brady Bucks jersey. But the players and the coaches said Kyler Murray is more deserving than Tom Brady. And he lucky he got out of the AFC. Because this would not even been close. It would not even been close because they got 2 or 3 more quarterbacks that's playing better than Brady. Mainly Ryan Tannehill.
Wonder what the Atlanta defensive coordinator would say right now about would he fear the GOAT or Kyler more? After Tom Brady threw for 320 yards in the second half at Atlanta, it's the most yards in the second half any NFL quarterback has thrown for this whole season.
My guy threw for 3 seasons in the first half.
Yeah, against that.
Against your guy.
Yeah, that's how bad they are. So, you know I love me some Kyler Murray because I was on Kyler Murray long before you were. You have slowly but surely come around to Kyler Murray. So this is a tough one for me, but I believe that Tom Brady deserved to have the edge over Kyler, to have the 3rd slot of the quarterbacks in the NFC in the Pro Bowl. Their QBRs are almost identical. Kyler's actually just a tick better at 69.4 to 69.3 for Tom. But if you look at the Pro Football Focus grades, and I know you got issues with that website, but I don't. So they are grading the whole body of work this year. They grade Tom Brady as the 5th best performer at quarterback in the National Football League this year. In totality, body of work.
No way.
They grade Kyler as the 11th best quarterback.
No
so
way.
5th to 11th right there. Tom Brady has thrown 32 touchdown passes, the 4th most in pro football this year, to 11 interceptions. Kyler has thrown 26 touchdown passes, which for Kyler is very good, to the same number, 11 interceptions.
But how many rushing touchdowns?
11.
Okay.
Kyler has 11. That ties Cam for the lead of quarterback rushing touchdowns. That's also tied for 3rd most in the whole NFL in rushing touchdowns. So that might offset. So you say it's about 50-50 there. How about receivers? Pro Football Focus ranks DeAndre Hopkins the 4th best performer so far this year in the National Football League. Now let's look at Tom's receivers. They've had a rough year. Would you believe that Antonio Brown is the highest graded of Tom's receivers in Tampa at 20th in the league? He grades 20th. You
see what
best.
you done? You see what?
Well, wait a second. Chris Godwin grades 35th best. And would you believe Mike Evans grades as the 57th best receiver in the league right now, says Pro Football Focus, through 14 games.
Well, tell me this. Why would Tom Brady want to go to Tampa if those guys are so bad? You see what happens? Anytime Tom Brady does not get what Tom Brady wants or have the type of year that people think he should have, what do we immediately do? So now all of a sudden,
I'm just reading grades.
Mike Evans has gone to 3 straight Pro Bowls. Chris Godwin last year was the #1 rated receiver by that same Pro Football Focus.
He's 35th.
And now all of a sudden, because Tom Brady, oh my God, Skip, for real, Skip, is this what we are?
So let's look at rushing stats for teams, shall we? Would you believe that Arizona is the 4th best rushing team in all of pro football right now? Would you believe that Tom's offense, rushing-wise, is 29th? 29th in rushing is Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Wow, 4th versus 29th. That means that, boy, Kyler can get away with a whole lot of play action and razzle-dazzle because you are afraid they're going to gash you with the run, and then you can be gashed by
if Tom Brady had legs, if Tom Brady could run, you'd have to worry about that with Tom Brady. A lot of that rushing yard is added in because of Kyler Murray, Skip.
Degree of difficulty.
Skip, don't do that, Skip.
Wow.
Skip, I can't even believe that you just said because Tom didn't make the Pro Bowl, you putting that at the feet of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown.
Well,
he has Gronk. He has Cameron Brate. Really, Skip?
Yep, really. So the final edge I just have to give in team record, overall record. Who's got the better record right now? Well, Tom, thanks to that 320 yards passing in the second half, thanks from coming back from 17-0 down and then 24-7 down mid-third quarter.
So what's their record?
They're 9-5, and Kyler is 8-6. So just on record alone, because it's so close and stats, I think I'll go advantage Brady.
No, I would not. I would not. No.
Yep, I got you.
No, actually, you don't. Skip, the players have spoken. The coaches have spoken.
They have.
And
There's a lot of Brady hate out there.
Oh, see, every time Brady, it's always hate. So what happened last year? It was Brady hate last year too, right?
No.
When he didn't make it.
No, I thought he was much better this year than he was last year.
Oh, he was much better.
But he obviously
you said
had
he was great
a
last
lot
year.
better supporting cast, better offensive line, better receivers.
So with all that being that, hold on, wait just a minute. Wait a minute, just a second.
Yeah.
You just said Mike Evans and Godwin and Antonio Brown was the reason why, and then now you just turn around and say they're better than what he had last year.
Well, they're obviously better because they both made the Pro Bowl
shouldn't he
last
be
year.
better?
Well, they sacrificed their Pro Bowls for the addition of Antonio Brown.
First of all, they weren't going to the Pro Bowl anyway before AB got there because they got too slow a start, and Tom Brady was not on the same page with those guys. So those guys were so far behind. I mean, Adam Thielen's having a better season than those guys, but that's neither here nor there, Skip. I'm just trying to figure out, what is it is that when Tom Brady plays bad, we blame his receivers, we blame the defense, but when Tom Brady wins, those guys had nothing to do with it. Chris Godwin making catches, Mike Evans making catches, the defense balling out in the second half. They get no credit, but they get all the blame. How is that?
Because I came in here the day after the game on Sunday night at Tampa versus New Orleans and said, Brady stunk it up. That's the worst game maybe he's ever played in his career. I defy you to go find a worse one than that.
Against who? Against New Orleans?
Yeah. That's Sunday night football.
Well, you ain't got to tell Skip. Everybody saw that.
Yeah, well, that's why I said. Well, I came in. I didn't blame any receivers. I blamed Tom Brady for that one.
No, you blame AB. Because you say he was trying to get the ball, he forced the ball to AB, so you blamed AB.
Nope, I did not. And I didn't think Brady was very good, especially in the second half at Chicago on that was Thursday
He wasn't good the game.
Yeah, so he had a couple of bad games. And he had some doozies.
What about New Orleans? So he had a good game against New Orleans, yes or no?
The first game?
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good, actually.
And a 37 QBR. Is that good?
No, I thought, again.
I thought the QBR, they measured not just halves.
If you have a brand new team with brand new teammates and you've got no preseason, no games, you don't get any games and you don't get any OTAs.
Skip, he's the GOAT.
You're throwing to these guys in some park in Tampa and get shut down there by the pandemic.
But I thought he was the GOAT. When does GOAT need to practice?
Well, the GOAT's 43.
No, but he's the GOAT. You took that. But when I say he's 43, you like, I can't tell.
You know what would happen to Patrick Mahomes if you threw him into that crucible down in Tampa with no preseason games? It would be a disaster.
Hold on, tell me.
We'd be setting interception records right now.
You say Patrick Mahomes in Bruce Arians' offense where his bombs over Baghdad.
Yeah, but like with no preseason, no OTAs, you just threw him in cold against your arch division rival on the road. You know what would happen? 4 interceptions would happen.
If
Mahomes would be looking around saying, "Where's Andy Reid when I needed him?"
Jameis Winston threw for 5,100 yards in that offense in his first year. What do you think Mahomes would throw for?
I don't know, it'll take a while. We're talking about opening day at New Orleans. Against that defense?
You just saw what he did. You just saw what he did to that defense.
No mercy.
Christmas Day. The music just puts me in a good mood. It is an NFL special as my Vikings take on Drew Brees and the Saints. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on Fox. Also available on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. That is going to be a good one. And I just, Christmas week, guys. Looking forward to it. So, if you include last year's playoffs, Patrick Mahomes and company have won 22 of their last 23 games, including Sunday's big win over the Saints to make them 13-1 on the season. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, the Chiefs Super Bowl odds increased slightly after that victory, but it's worth noting that they're only 6-7-1 against the spread this year. Orlando Skandrick joins us now. Orlando, good morning. You played with Casey during Mahomes' first year starting, so we wanted to hear your take. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe in the Chiefs to win it all?
I want to give him a 10, but a 10 means it's absolutely going to happen. But I'm going to give him a 9. The confidence that Mahomes playing with, the confidence that the Chiefs play with, they're the best coached team in football, as you can see. They never have any panic. They fight through everything, whether it's turnovers, bad starts, whether sometimes they get sluggish and complacent during the game, but they're the best complete team in football.
I totally agree. And they should be favorites. But I think the thing is, and people get carried away talking about, well, they're not covering the spreads. Oh, I don't know about you, but when I played in 14 years, I didn't care anything about the spread. It wasn't like we were getting the points or they were getting the points. It was 0-0. We'll let the bettors and the fans, y'all can, and fantasy, all that other stuff, but we was worried about winning the game. I think the thing is that when you play close games, it toughens you, so when you get into the playoff scenarios, you've been here before and you know what it's like. Skip, if you look at when we go back and look at the Patriots, for the most part, Skip, their games were blowout. When they got into a close ball game with the Giants in that situation, okay, what happened? Because they've been in these situations so many times, it started last year in the playoffs, down by 10, where they down by 24, come back, down by 10, come back, down by 10, come back. You see what down by against Miami, down. They've been in these situations, and so it's easier playing with John Elway, my quarterback, being down. I always felt we can come back because I had seen him do it before. I had been on a team where he's done it before. So you have the utmost confidence that, man, we got Patrick Mahomes. We can come back. But the thing that people love about sport ball and why football is so heartbreaking, Skip, is one game. Because somebody beat the Chiefs, and you had to play, let's just say, Skip, you had to play the next 7 weeks. Do you believe a team can beat them 4 times in 7 weeks? I don't. But one game, a tip pass, a block PAT, and it's over. It's over. So I'm with O. I'm going to go 9.5. But the two teams in the AFC that scares me is Tennessee, because they can run it. Skip, Ryan Tannehill has 31 touchdowns with 5 picks. And Phillip Rivers, they play basically cover 2. They don't give you anything over the top. They make you methodically go down the field, and they believe we can make you make a mistake before you get the ball in the end zone. But you got to get the, Skip, can you get to 30? Can you get to 30? Because you got to get to 30 and hope my homeboy is off. Because if he's on, you can't score enough points to beat him.
I saw Baker Mayfield light up Tennessee at Tennessee, but you didn't mention Baker Mayfield.
Hold on. So you believe Cleveland can beat Kansas City?
I do. I will give them a shot. The way they're playing right now, you are sleeping on Cleveland, man. Okay. They are rolling. Okay, now back to confidence level. Far be it from me to criticize any team for winning football games, because it is hard to do in this league, to keep stacking wins like they stack. But we're talking about Super Bowl lock now. So on that Super Bowl lock level, scale of 1 to 10, I make them a 4 because something is missing here. I don't know why. I don't know what. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's just they're a little blasé about it. Maybe it just comes too easily for them. But these last 6 games, they haven't covered a single point spread. And it's not like they're playing murderer's row here, because it's Carolina, it's Denver, it's Las Vegas. I don't know. But look at the scores, the margin of victory here. Last 6 games, they beat Carolina by 2. They beat Las Vegas by 4 on a late touchdown. They survived Tampa Bay by 3. They beat Denver by 6. They won at Miami by 6. And then somehow, Sunday at New Orleans, they won by only 3 points when they had the football for 41 minutes to Drew Brees' 19 minutes. 41-19. They were 9 of 18 on 3rd down, while Drew Brees and company 1 of 11 on 3rd down. And you only won by 3? Yeah. I don't get it. I can't even make the math work on that.
But here's the thing also, but while you do that, you might not necessarily score, but guess what you do? You keep Drew Brees the ball out of his hands so he can't score.
But you only won by 3. Why didn't you cash more? You should have won that game by 21.
No, you should.
Skip, what was the score of the Super Bowl?
Well, they were down 20-10 early in the fourth quarter when Mahomes threw his second interception. Thank you.
Shannon, what was the score of the Super Bowl? Nobody don't know.
31-24, right?
But you don't know, right, though? It's just a matter if you win.
Right.
Like, how do we criticize a team? This team, they jump out, they score so many points so fast, and sometimes they get a little bored.
They do. But look who. But here's the thing. I want to know: is Buffalo any good? Because they went on the road and beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Is New Orleans any good? They went on the road and beat New Orleans in New Orleans. Is Tampa any good? They went on the road and beat Tampa in Tampa. What about the Ravens? Are the Ravens any good? Oh, they went on the road and beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Who has this? If this was college football, they would be unanimous number 1 seed. Nobody has the strength of schedule they have.
Were they locks?
Skip, there's no such thing as locking football.
What did we see last year in the playoffs? They get
Huge victory.
they fall hopelessly behind at home to the Texans. Hopelessly, it appeared behind to Tennessee with that big stud running the football.
And got him.
And got him.
Spot him.
I give you that.
That's what they do when we spot him.
Wait a second. What if Jimmy Garoppolo hits Emmanuel Sanders, who's running 5 yards free at the goal line with a late touchdown pass? We're having a different conversation right now.
Then Mahomes probably get the ball back and walk down the field like he did against the Raiders.
You know what he did, Skip?
Hey,
you know
wait. You're talking about the same Mahomes who threw a late third-quarter interception and an early fourth-quarter interception in the Super Bowl?
And then came back and
they
threw a
were
touchdown.
both just careless, like, what are you thinking, Patrick, kind of passes?
This is what we know. Think about this. In order to get first downs against Tampa, they allowed the man to throw for it. In New Orleans, they allowed him to throw for it. You remember what he went and got in Buffalo? He went and got what he needed. Skip Bayless, he's the best quarterback in football. He's going to win the MVP. Look, in football, there are no locks. But I guarantee you the betting money is on Kansas City as opposed to everybody else.
Okay, it is right now. But what did I see at Tampa? I saw your man throw in the first quarter for 229 yards.
Yeah.
And then he kind of put it on cruise control. In the second half, he threw for 103, and here came Tampa Bay.
You want the man to throw for 800 on you?
No, well, that's 103. If I did that twice, he'd throw for 206.
No, but what did he throw for?
He had the ball 41 minutes Sunday at New Orleans and threw for 259.
No.
259?
What did he throw? Skip, tell the people at home what your guy Tom Brady threw for and how many points he scored.
In that game?
Against New Orleans.
Oh, against New Orleans, he has a hard time. That's a bad matchup for them.
No. Yeah. That's a bad. But what Mahomes do? Mahomes,
you know what?
30.
I'm glad you asked that because he had the ball for 41 minutes and threw for 259 yards. How do you do that?
Well, why didn't your
Cruise
guy?
control.
His yards per pass were way below Drew Brees.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. Why didn't your guy throw for those yards? Why couldn't your guy possess the ball like that? Because he can't withstand that relentless pressure. Like I said, there are very few guys could have withstood what Mahomes withstood on Sunday and won that ball game. You remember the last time we saw New Orleans hit a quarterback like that? That was in 2009, Skip, when they did it to Brett Favre. And you remember what they do.
For the last 3 quarters, Tom Brady outplayed Patrick Mahomes at Tampa. Outplayed him and brought them, they roared back because of Tom Brady's 2 75-yard drives in the fourth quarter. Cut it to 27-24 with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left and just needed the ball back.
And my guy,
one time.
And my guy still threw more touchdowns and had more passing yards and had a higher QBR than your guy. Your guy could have won it, but you threw 2 interceptions. But you don't want to mention that, though. That's why you didn't have the ball. Skip, you threw interceptions on first and second down.
I don't see locks here. I don't get
Skip,
it.
there are no locks in football. You know that.
You just said there was.
I said
you
9.
both were talking about a 10.
No, anybody said no 10.
Well, Orlando said maybe a 10. I'd give him a 10, but
I said I would give them a 10, but I cannot because that's certainty. Anybody can beat anybody in one game.
All right,
But they got way better chances than Tampa Bay.
No mercy.
The Cowboys and Eagles will play on Fox this Sunday, and now Stephen Jones is admitting that Philly's young signal caller, Jalen Hurts, could have wound up in Dallas. On his weekly radio show, Jones said the team was interested in drafting Hurts as a potential backup, saying, quote, "We really looked hard. Certainly, obviously, our guy is Dak, but at the same time, Mike McCarthy is a big proponent of continuing to look at quarterbacks." Former Cowboy Orlando Scandrick is still with us. So, Orlando, I want to start with you here. What does this quote tell you?
It just tells you that they looked at him. It's honest. I mean, you're always looking to get better. I think Dak and Jalen have some similarities. I think Dak's a better passer. I think he came in as a better passer, but from a running perspective and an elusive perspective and overall quarterback perspective, they're very, very similar. They're natural born leaders. Dak was a natural leader. Jalen's came in and he's shown that he's a natural leader. I was on here a week ago and I didn't think that he could sustain the success that he did against the Saints, but he's proven me wrong. I mean, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected, and the kid's going to have a great career in this league.
Interesting. You have a quarterback and you say, this is our quarterback. And you were thinking about taking him and you say, Dak's our guy. We believe in Dak. That's not computing. I mean, you think Seattle's thinking about taking a quarterback anytime soon? You thinking
if there's one sitting there that they like, they're going
to take a quarterback in the second round.
Yeah.
Stop.
What round did Green Bay draft Aaron Rodgers in?
They drafted Aaron Rodgers in the first round.
24th.
What round did Tampa Bay draft? I mean, what round did New England draft Jimmy Garoppolo in?
Second
round. But you're talking about a situation. How old was Tom Brady? How old was
Tom Brady
Favre?
played for about 8 years after that. He's still playing.
No, but hold on. What year is this for Jimmy G? 5? Tom Brady, 43.
6, I believe.
So 38 years of age. Patrick Mahomes is 25. Russell Wilson is 30. And you talking about they're going to take a... Man, stop. This tells me, if I'm Dak Prescott, this tells me everything I need to know. While y'all keep telling me y'all believe in me, y'all are still evaluating other quarterbacks as if I'm not on this roster and I'm not good enough. This tells me everything I need to know. First of all, Jalen Hurts reminds me nothing of Dak Prescott because Jalen Hurts is looking to run once he breaks the pocket. Dak Prescott is a reluctant runner of the football. Dak really wants to throw the football, and he can throw it really well. And when he breaks the pocket, he's still looking to throw the football, like Russell Wilson. So for me, the only thing that reminds me of they both play quarterback and they both black. Other than that, I see no similarities.
Wait. Let's go back. For you to say that they don't remind you of each other, you didn't watch that. I had the luxury of watching Dak Prescott his rookie year. It was all play action and hand it to Zeke, get him out the pocket.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Dak Prescott even before this year, before he started to become a natural passer, they had so many design runs in their offense. That's what was getting them. And of course, and they had so much more weapons around him. The Dallas Cowboys was surrounded by a better football team, a better offensive line, better skill players than the Eagles.
I'm not
so to say that Jalen Hurts is not a good passer.
No. What I'm saying is you're willing to turn the keys over to him after 2 games.
I never said I was willing to turn the keys.
So then what are you
asked me the similarities. Dak Prescott has finished 4 years in the NFL. He's got 2 games. Give him a chance. You can't go in the kitchen and start some food in 2 minutes and expect it to be done.
That's what I'm saying. So to say this, but it's just a lazy analysis. It's like, oh, he has great leadership. You don't know what that guy's like. People thought
it looked like he got great leadership from a team that looked like they was dead and walking on 3 legs, now competing.
They still dead.
They competing.
They still dead. Oh, stop it. You make it seem like they really got a realistic chance.
I mean, all them teams in that division, sorry, but they compete.
My turn. What this tells me is what I've been trying to tell Shannon Sharpe, these 8, 9, 10 months of this contractual impasse between Dak Prescott and Jerry and Stephen Jones. They believe that he is dug in with his new agent at $40+ million, and they don't want to pay it because they don't think he's a $40+ million quarterback. That's what they believe.
Yes.
And they believe he is so proud and so stubborn in a good way that he's not going to come off his demands.
No, he's not.
I don't blame either side, but there's a big impasse here because there's a big old gap. And now Jerry and Steven sit back and say, look what just happened to Carson Wentz. They gave him his money, and now they're trying to figure out a way to get out from under it. Look what's happening to Jared Goff with the Rams. He went to Miami a month ago and just stunk it up like you can't stink up a game if you're that guy making that much money because they gave him his money.
Right.
Then he just lost at home to the Jets, and he stunk it up again. And they're saying, gee, is he the future or not? And Jerry and Steven are saying, you know what? That kid in Philadelphia is the real deal because they're close with Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln was telling everybody who would listen, he is the real deal. As Orlando said, I've been trying to tell you, natural-born leader. I knew it from Oklahoma. I think I knew it from Alabama, but I know a lot of people at Oklahoma, and they said he has changed our program this year.
But Skip, the thing is that these are rookie quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Of course you love them on a rookie deal.
You could get him on a rookie
exactly.
deal.
So what happens when Jalen Hurts become a 4th or 5th year guy, and then you're going to have to pay him?
You got to reevaluate. But where I'm coming from is if I can get him in the 2nd round and back up my guy, look, and I can get him for the cheap price of backing him up. I mean, look, obviously Dallas clearly picks the best player. CeeDee Lamb is a great player, but they needed so much more. So it wouldn't have surprised me to see them draft Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round.
And what he got him? I'm behind on my rent, and I go buy rims for my car. What sense does that make? Offensively, you
I never
need
said it makes sense. You asked
what
me
about
if I
defense?
thought that it was a
What did you need, What did the Cowboys need,
Defensive playmakers.
Thank you.
Okay, but Stephen Jones is speaking with his ego. He's trying to tell you, we saw Jalen Hurts coming because we saw another Dak Prescott, but we could get him cheap, and so they're thinking second round, maybe third round.
And that was the same thing they said. You know what I noticed? The Cowboys say this about everybody that played well. He said the same things about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We thought about drafting him because he goes off and has these great running games.
Okay,
it's always wishful thinking to say that once the guys played. Guess what? They probably thought about drafting Justin Jefferson also because he's going bonkers in Minnesota.
No, they did not. No, you got to stop this because I believe they saw Dak all over again. And again, is Dak a little better thrower than Jalen? Yes, he is. But is Jalen a lot better runner than Dak?
Yes.
I agree with your assessment.
Yes.
He is more reluctant. He's gotten more and more.
Yes.
I'm with early on, I thought he was going to be sort of a 50-50.
But Dak said them legs. But here's the thing, though, Skip. No matter who you draft, at some point in time, you're going to have to pay him. So, Skip, the days of a quarterback making $30 million, if he's that guy, it's $40 million. You see where the prices are going, Skip?
I got it, but they offered him 35-ish, 36-ish.
Is it no?
Not enough.
It was a very fair, even you said,
It was
fair market
yes.
deal, right?
It was fair.
Okay.
But see here, the problem that they made, Skip, is that Wentz and Goff took those deals. They had 2 years left.
Mm-hmm.
Dak had no years left. I can't give you the same discount that somebody gave them with 2 years left, and I got no years. So why would I give you a discount with no years left?
Even though you have a dozen national TV
Yeah, they got nothing to do with
commercials
you.
because you are America's team's
Yeah,
quarterback.
they ain't got nothing to do with you.
No, sir.
Interesting.
But you have to also look, Skip, and say that Wentz and Goff, those guys came in the league ahead of the 8-ball.
Yes.
I came in the league as a fifth-round pick. My first contract was measly. And Dak was looking at this and saying, I need some get back for them 3 years that I gave y'all.
Yeah.
I want to be compensated for that.
Yeah, one of them got like $28 million, the other guy got like $26 million, fully guaranteed. And so I got that. So, Skip, I can't give you like that. But, Skip, you don't have to comment on every situation because while you say it's trying to heap praise on Jalen Hurts, what you did is cast condemnation on your own quarterback.
You did.
That you were actually thinking about taking a quarterback.
That is correct. That's all you need to know. It's Aaron Rodgers' situation.
Yes.
They took the guy late in the first round. Okay.
You got to say Jalen is playing unbelievable. He seems to be like a nice kid. But don't you ever say we were evaluating and we thought about what? Some things you just keep to yourself. You sit on that,
It just tells me that Dak in Dallas is a finite situation. The clock is ticking.
It is.
It's not going to be a long-term situation.
Dak say I'm over here just rehabbing this ankle, getting this ankle strong, and y'all still.
And you guys got your eye on Jalen Hurts.
But they don't got no choice but to pay Dak. Or else we're going to be looking at a whole lot of more 6 and 10 seasons.
I love it. I'm counting it.
I know you love it. You're smiling a bit too much over there. The Jones family, they just love to talk. They love to talk. They always have to say everything. Orlando, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
No mercy.
Well, the Clippers and Lakers renew their rivalry tonight as the NBA's regular season tips off. Kawhi's team won the first 2 meetings last year, which we talk about plenty on the show. But then LeBron and company won the next 2 and went on to win the title in the bubble after the much-anticipated playoff showdown never materialized. So, Shannon, who you got tonight? Finally, I can ask, Lakers or Clippers?
Yeah, Skip, we're going to get some nice little precious hardware. Glad to have some guests in attendance, because at first L.A. County wasn't going to let us have any guests. So we're going to play this game, ring ceremony, which you will never be able to have one on your own. So we invited you to ours. Of course we're going to
You're going
win.
to be there to help raise that banner?
You know what? I might have to get a special exemption from Governor Newsom.
You've earned it.
Skip, look, I like what the Lakers have done with their roster in the offseason. I like the addition of Marc Gasol. I like Schroeder. I like the pieces that we brought back. I like Wesley Matthews. Look, there's no pressure. If they don't, you made a big deal about them losing opening day. You and others made a big deal about them losing Christmas. And what I've noticed is that when LeBron wins, it was just the regular season. Kawhi wins, Kawhi loses. Oh, man. But we got something for you. We're going to beat you. We're going to get our rings. We're going to look at them because they're going to, I heard they're really big, Skip. Really, really big. But we got y'all I think we beat y'all by 4.
By 4? Okay. I will take 4 for 5 cases of Diet Dew right now.
Deal.
You do it?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Thank you very much. So I believe the NBA world is sleeping on the Clippers because last seen the Clippers were flaming out against the Nuggets, and playoff PEE was an emotional wreck down in the bubble.
Have y'all won any preseason games?
Yeah, we've been okay.
Okay, just okay.
I just like the way they played. Have you seen Lou Will? Woo.
Oh, now you like Lou Will.
Yeah.
Now lemon, but now you call him, now he Lou Will again. He ain't lemon pepper no more.
He's not in the bubble. He's not in Atlanta. He's in Los Angeles. They're going to come up out of the basement tonight when you least expect it, and they're going to say, hey, remember us? Because your guy, LeBron James, has looked really out of shape to me. He's been smoking his cigars. He's been celebrating. He's been sipping wine and tequila.
Yep.
And I got it. But he is not yet in supreme shape. He is looking to play his way back into shape. So I don't think he'll be capable of going that hard for that long tonight.
He ain't good enough shape to beat you guys.
So here comes a team that everybody's dismissing because it doesn't have a leader. There's no leader and there's no point guard, and you didn't get any better. I think so. I think Serge Ibaka is an upgrade over your new guy who is our malcontent.
Skip, all last year you talked about how the bench, led by Trez and led by Lou Will, how they were so much better, and everybody said how much better the bench led by Trez and Lou Will. Now he's not with the Clippers. He's trash. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not saying he's trash, but we needed to get rid of him. It was addition by subtraction. And it will clear the decks for Lou Williams to take over the second unit. I believe he will rebound, respond as the 6th man of the year once again, and he will announce his presence tonight. Because I've told you from the start, he is the closer for the Clippers, and he will close the deal tonight. And I believe the Clippers will come out with fire in their eyes.
They better.
And they will spoil your ring party. We're going to poop your party, maybe poop on your party. How about that?
But you, Skip, look here. Jenny, you could have told I've never been married before. And Jenny, I know you had a nice venue set up, but there was nothing anyone could have done to ruin Jenny's moment. She had met the man of her dreams. She had been dreaming of this. She was a little girl playing with the dolls. She had dreamed of this moment. So had it rained outside, snowed outside, somebody tried to crash the party, it was not going to ruin Jenny's moment. I was going to be with the man that I chose to be with for the rest of my life. It does not matter. We got these rings for the rest of our lives, and nothing you can do to ruin it.
You just compared Jenny Taft's wedding to opening night ring ceremony for the Lakers?
I'm confused
That's
here.
blasphemy.
That's right
I'm
analogy.
saying nothing could have ruined Jenny's moment. I ain't kind of compare. I'm saying nothing can ruin our
They're gonna
moment.
enjoy it.
I'm comparing the moment.
And you're gonna be there.
They don't keep score at weddings. They're going to keep score tonight,
Yeah, they do.
whether you like it or
they
not.
do.
There's going to be a big scoreboard up there, and it's going to say Clippers 102, Lakers 100. That's how it's going to end.
Elizabeth Taylor had a 7, a wedding score of a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, she had 7 husbands.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that got 10.
Score.
Exactly. So they do keep score.
I think she had more than 7, actually.
but anyway, Skip, baby, all you try to do, what you want to look. Even if they lose, which they won't, it's not going to change the end result, because the end result is more confetti. I think it is the champion is like June. So all I'm saying is we're going to have more purple and gold confetti raining down in June. Does anybody remember that they lost opening night? Does anybody remember? Or does any? Yeah, sure they remember. Clipper fans, Marcellus Wiley, Clipper down. But anyway, does anybody care? That's the thing. Yeah, we know who won, but did it matter in the grand scheme of things?
Well, it seems to matter to you because you're over there gloating about it's raising the banner night.
Yeah, well, hold on.
So
we got 17 of those things.
So you just made me a 5 cases of Dew bet, and you're saying nothing's going to bother you tonight.
And nothing's going to bother me.
Okay, well, that doesn't go together.
But Skip, I probably wouldn't even remember anything, man. I'm going to be,
Really?
After probably about 6 of the things, it was tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember nothing.
Okay.
You come here and tell me what happened tomorrow.
As long as you show up tomorrow, I will be just fine.
I'm not only going to show up, I'm going to show out.
Yeah.
Skip, now you know the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, I heard Miss Tripp Dove, she jumped the line.
She did?
She got back,
So
she got
she's
knocked
good?
in. Yeah.
She's essential. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but how are you going to defeat these?
Oh, there they are.
How are you going to defeat these? You're going to get Jolly Rancher tonight. That's what's going to happen.
What happens
You're up
is-
against this man in these shoes.
You could tell they passed that stimulus bill. So the first thing you got some PPE.
Yeah.
But that's okay, Skip.
Yeah,
Your
I'm
day
good.
coming.
I'm good.
Your day.
Your day has arrived, and it's tonight.
I want you to have on them. Say have a different flavor Jolly Rancher. Maybe you have the green apple.
I've never had a Jolly Rancher in my life, but I've worn them.
There's no way Skip has ever tried a Jolly
I haven't.
Rancher before.
I don't even know what they are.
I mean, they're pretty fresh. They look
No mercy.
A little over a week before Clemson faces Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinal, Dabo Swinney ranked the Buckeyes at number 11 in the final coaches poll of the season. He was the only coach in the poll to put Ohio State outside of the top 6. And last week, Dabo disagreed with the idea of a team who only played 5 regular season games making the playoff. But once the matchup was announced, he said the Tigers, quote, look forward to playing the Buckeyes in the Sugar Bowl. So, Shannon, will this come back to haunt him?
Skip, I know Dabo a little well, and
Yeah.
Dabo believes what he believes.
He does.
And when he believes it, ain't no getting him out that.
Yeah, he stayed true to his
Skip,
beliefs.
he sincerely believed that if you only play 6 games, you do not deserve that. And he didn't say one thing, publicly and then vote a different way. He voted the way he spoke.
Yep.
So, and this is the kind of confidence that you have when you believe, I believe I got the best player in college football in Trevor Lawrence, and I got a defense to back me up. So this is the kind of talk. You don't believe it's bulletin board material, Skip, like Miami. Skip, the old Hurricane, they kept bulletin board stuff out there, but they didn't care because they were so much better. But we're going to find out. The last 2 times they played, Clemson has won the ball game. Remember, Sammy Watkins had the all-world game, had over 200 yards receiving, and then last year was one of the great semifinal games that we've seen since this format. But Ohio State, they were missing 22 players and their leading receiver. He's back. It's going to be a very interesting ball game.
Dabo has provided the Ohio State with huge motivational advantage for this game. And again, my eye test tells me that the Ohio State belonged in these 4 teams because, remember, number 1 criteria is win your conference championship if you're a Power 5 team, right?
Right.
They steamrolled Northwestern, especially in the second half of their conference championship game, and they looked legit to me because they're in both lines of scrimmage. They just dominate.
Well, Skip, but you can't keep changing the rules to make sure that you get your conference, that you get an opportunity to get the guys in. They kept changing the rules, and they kept moving it down and down. Okay, first it was you had to play a certain amount of games. Well, they weren't going to meet the criteria, so we had to change the rules.
What does your eye test tell you? Do they belong? Yep.
My eye test tell me the 2 best team all year has been Alabama and Clemson.
Okay.
What do your eye test tell you?
I think Clemson's going to have a hard time with Ohio State.
It's going to be, hey.
Well, my
Long as
eye
Bama
test
do what Bama
tells
does.
me the Buckeyes are for real.
You know
I've been
Bama
around
got
them a lot
steak.
this
They got
season.
a steak
They're
down
going to be
there,
ready, and Ryan Day will make sure they heard all of those comments. That is it for Undisputed. Good stuff today, guys. Enjoy the game. We'll break it down tomorrow. Have a good night.